So, good day everyone. My name is Ace Armenonillo and I'm going to talk about this afternoon about the Cavite Mutiny. So, the Cavite Mutiny was a major factor in the awakening of nationalism among the Filipinos. It is a rebellion against authority. So the mutiny comes from an old verb mutin, which means to revolt. So we all know that revolt means mag-alsa or mukontra. So Cavite Mutiny, uprising of military personnel of Fort San Felipe, the Spanish arsenal in Cavite. So there are a Spanish arsenal in the Cavite during the Cavite Mutiny. So on January 20, 1872, so diri nag-uprise ang Cavite Mutiny. So and around 200 soldiers and laborers rose up in the belief that it would elevate to a national uprising. So there are 200 soldiers and laborers nga nagdahom nga mo-uprise ang mutiny. But then the mutiny was unsuccessful and government soldiers were executed many of the participants. So there are execution nga nahitabo during the Cavite Mutiny mo nang wala siya nahimong successful. So the martyrdom of the three priests. So kaning topic is all about the story of the three priests nga pasanginlan and then gipatay sila. They were executed during the mutiny. So they were the prominent Filipino priests charged with treason and sedition. The Spanish clergy connected the priests to the mutiny as part of a conspiracy to stifle the movement of secular priests who desired to have their own parishes instead of being assistants to the regular friars. So ang kaning three priests, so gusto nila nga kanang sila or ilahang murag sila ang magkuan sa mga Filipinos to Christianism. But then against ani ang mga regular friars maong kuan sila gi-execute or paratangan sila. So the first priest is Father Mariano Gomez. He was an old man in his mid-70s. He is a Chinese Filipino born in Cavite. He held the most senior position of the three as archbishop. So he is the highest of them all. So he is the archbishops among the three priests. Vicar in Cavite. He was truly nationalistic and accepted the death penalty calmly as thought it was where his penance for being pro-Filipino. So gidawat ni Father Mariano Gomez ang death penalty with calmly and walay labag sa iyang kalooban. The second priest is Father Jose Burgos. He is a Spanish descent. Born in the Philippines, he was a parish priest of Manila Cathedral and had been known to be close to the liberal Governor General de la Torre. He was 35-year-old at that time. So, gipatay ni siya 35 years old siya and was active and outspoken in advocating the Philippinization of the clergy. So kani sila nga three friars is pukaw nila gina-awaken ng mga Filipino to have kanang fair nga kaning Christianism among them all. So the third one is Father Jacinto Zamora. He is 37 years old and was also Spanish born in the Philippines. So kani si Father Jacinto Zamora was a Spanish. He was the parish priest of Marikina and was known to be unfriendly to and would not countenance any arrogance or authoritative behavior from Spaniard coming from Spain. So kanin silang tulo is na-assign nila sa the different part of the Philippines nga kanang ilahang ginahandle nga simbahan. But then pag abot sa mga friars, dito na nasugod ang gubot nga nahitabo nga gilaban nila ang ilahang karapatan, but then giparatangan sila and then they were they were executed and gihatagan sila og life sentence nga death penalty. So in the Spanish accounts of the Cavite Mutiny, Jose Montero y Vidal, Spanish historian, his account centered on how the event was an attempt in overthrowing the Spanish government in the Philippines. So kani si Jose Montero y Vidal, he is historian siya. So he is a writer. So siya ang nagsulat sa mga kanang ah, So siya ang nagasulat sa mga panghitabo nga nabunhimo diri sa Pilipinas during the Spanish authority. His account on mutiny was criticized and as awfully biased. So ginakriticize siya sa mga Espanyol nga bias daw ang iyang pagsulat sa mga panghitabo diri sa Philippines, but then ginasulat gid hapon niya to awaken Filipinos nga mo kini ang nahitabo and mo kini ang bias sa mga Espanyol. Montero's account of Cavite Mutiny, the idea of attaining their independence. It was towards this goal that they started to work with powerful assistance of a certain section of native clergy. So si Montero nag-attain di siya no nga kanang to attain the independence. It was towards a goal started of powerful assistant of certain section of native clergy. So nangay siya og kanang tabang sa mga native to the Philippines. Governor Rafael Izquierdo, he was implicated in native clergy who were active in the movement towards secularization of parishes. In a bias report that highlighted the attempt to overthrow the Spanish government in the Philippines to install a new hari in the persons of Father Burgos and Zamora. So, nag-attempt sila nga maghimo sila or to install or sa ato pang itawag nga kanang magkuan sila og bag-o nga hari to impersonate the persons of Father Burgos and Zamora. So according to Izquierdo, native clergy attracted supporters by giving them charismatic assurance that their fight would not fail because they had God's support, aside from promises of lofty, aside from rewards such as employment, wealth, ranks in the army. So dili nila gina-attain nga kanang dili nila nga kanang nagsalig nga sa wealth sa nga and ranks in the army, but then they have kuan nga they had God support. They believe that. This is the official report of Governor Izquierdo on the Cavite Mutiny on 1872. It has not been clearly determined if they plan to establish a monarchy on a republic because the Indios have no words in their language to describe this form of government. So, kaning Indio is mo ning ginatawag sa mga Filipino sa una, sa mga Espanyol. So, dili mosugot si Governor Izquierdo nga ang Indio is murag ikuan niya og right ang mga Filipinos nga mo gunit og mga government because wala daw sila kanang tingog or mga wala daw sila kaya nga buhaton para sa government, wala daw sila kayang maayong nga buhaton. So whose head in Filipino would be called hari, but it turns out that they would be placed at the head of the government a priest that the head selected would be Dr. Jose Burgos and Dr. Jacinto Zamora. So Spanish accounts underscore the reason for the revolution: abolition of privileges enjoyed by the workers of Cavite Arsenal, such as exemptions from payment of tribute and being employed in polos y servicos or forced labor. So sa una no ang mga Indios or mga Filipinos kay looy kayo kay gina-forced labor sila, so bisag walay bayad or dili bukal sa ilang kalooban nga mutabang ay or mo mahimo ana nga butang, so ginabuhat nila because of the ka-harassment nga gikan sa mga Espanyol. The presence of native clergy against the Spanish friars conspired and supported the rebels. So ang presensya ng native nga clergy against the Spanish friars conspired and supported the rebels. So ginasuportahan, so nag-attain ang mga Filipinos nga tungod sa presensya sa mga native clergy to pareha ni Governor Izquierdo is kanang nagkuan sila conspired and supported the rebels. So murag nila kanang murag nahimo nilang inspiration or motivation to fight against the Spaniards. The Spaniards' accounts on 1872 was premeditated, a part of big conspiracy among educated leaders, mestizos, lawyers, and residents of Manila and Cavite. They allegedly planned to liquidate high-ranking Spanish officers, then Miguel Friar. So nag-attempt din ang mga Spaniards, no, nga pamadyo nila ang mga friars because of their doing. The accounts detail that on January 20, 1872, the district of Sampaloc celebrated the feast of the Virgin Loreto. Came with it where some fireworks display. So na fireworks display nga nahitabo during the district sa Sampaloc celebrated the feast. So the Caviteños mistook this as the signal to commence with the attack. So mo kini nga gihimo nga ang strategy or kanang right time sa mga Caviteños nga mo attack because naglipay ang mga Spaniards. Spaniards accounts there were 200 men was led by Sergeant La Madrid attacked Spanish officers at sight and size the arsenal. Izquierdo, upon learning the attack, ordered reinforcement of the Spanish forces in Cavite to quell the revolt. The revolution was easily crushed when Manilianos who were expected the aid of Caviteños did not arrive. So, nangayo ang tabang si Governor Izquierdo, but then kanaay ka nang nangayon ta siya tabang para makuha ng pag-revolt sa mga Filipinos, but then walay naabot nga tabang and moto nga nahitabo is nagdismaya or na kuan si Governor Izquierdo. So in result, many leaders of the plot were killed. So daghan di ang nangamatay tungod ato nga panghitabo because walay nahitabo nga reinforcement because wala sila giadto nga gipangayuan ang government nga wala niya to. So Father Gomez Burgos in Zamora were tried by a court martial and sentenced to be executed. So the picture shows that the others who implicated and other Filipino lawyers were suspended from the practice of law, arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment at the Marianas Island. So si Joaquin Pando de Tavera, si Antonio Maria Rigor, and Jose Basa and Pio Basa. So diri mo ni sila ang mga himong implications. On February 17, 1872, the Gombursa were executed by Garrote in public to serve as threat to Filipinos never to attempt to fight the Spaniards again. So kaning Gombursa dahil so ang pag-execute sa tulo ka pari is mo ni siya gihimong threat sa mga Filipinos para dili na sila mulaban sa Spaniards. But then this is a scene purportedly witnessed by Eyang Jose Rizal. So sa katunga scene na ada dito si Jose Rizal, but then he was so young at that age. So katunga panghitabo is mo to gihimong way sa mga Spaniards para dili na sila labanan sa mga Filipinos that they were called Indios. Differing accounts of the events of 1872, Pardo de Tavera's account of Cavite Mutiny, Plosio's account of the Cavite Mutiny, and so the first is Dr. Trinidad Hermenegildo Pardo de Tavera, a Filipino scholar and researcher. He wrote a Filipino version of the bloody incident in Cavite. So one of the famous writers sa Cavite Mutiny is Dr. Trinidad Hermenegildo Pardo de Tavera. So he was a researcher at that time. According to Pardo de Tavera, the incident was merely a mutiny by Filipino soldiers and laborers of Cavite Arsenal to dissatisfaction arising from the draconian policies of Izquierdo. So matod pa ni Pardo de Tavera, Dr. Pardo de Tavera, so ang Cavite Mutiny was full of Filipino soldiers and laborers. The central Spanish government was planning to deprive the friars of all the powers of interventions in matters of civil government and direction. So nagplano ang mga Spanish government nga na sila himoong mga intervention to to make kanang Filipinos nga murag may pahilayo sa ilahang mga plano nga ginabuhat against the Spanish government. An expert from Pardo de Tavera's account from Cavite Mutiny. So the Filipinos had great hopes of an improvement in the affairs of their country. So the friars feared that their power in the colony would soon be complete a thing of the past. So Edmond Plosio, a French writer complemented Tavera's account and analyzed the motivation of the 1872 Cavite Mutiny. So, siya. He was complemented the Tavera's account. So, siya ang nag-complement sa mga siya ang nag-complement and nag-analyze sa work or account ni Dr. Tavera's account. He was nagmuha siya og motivation against Cavite Mutiny. Plosio's account of the Cavite Mutiny, the arrival in Manila of General Esquerdo, put a sudden end of all dreams of reforms such as policy must really end in a strong desire on the part of others to repress cruelly. Differing accounts, the friars used Cavite Mutiny as a part of a larger conspiracy to cement their dominance. So gihimo nila ang Cavite Mutiny nga parts or larger conspiracy para mahimo nila or ma-dominance nila ang paglunsad ato nga government. They also showcase the mutiny as a part of greater conspiracy in the Philippines by Filipinos to overthrow the Spanish government. Unintentionally, it resulted in the martyrdom of Gomburza and paved way to the revolution culminating in 1898. So, nagresulta siya sa martyrdom of Gomburza. Wala nila tuyuan dito siya, dili dito from the word unintentionally. And then Dr. Jose P. Rizal, our national hero, dedicated his second novel, which is the El Filibusterismo, to their memory. So kanina El Fili story ni Rizal is nagrepresent siya sa three priests na Dagumbor sa execution. So Dagumborza, collective name of the three martyred priests, tag as the masterminds of the Cavite Mutiny. So nagrepresent ang pagsulat ni Rizal sa El Filibusterismo sa pagpatay sa tulo ka pari. So that would be all. Thank you.